Start. Welcome back to another edition of the Dirty Dozen podcast. We are already on to week four. Special guest appearance. Did a little bit of a shake-up this week. Zach was the highest scorer, dropped a 160 bomb on whose dome? I don't even remember. But but he deferred on a cool ball. I beat him by 51. But he was a kind guy since he's already been on the podcast, deferred to the guy that scored the second most, 158 to Grant. So Grant, welcome back. Welcome on the pod. It's good to have you
Yeah, I
back.
don't even think you can say welcome back. I don't know if I've ever been on the pod before.
Really? I'm
Going
pretty
back to
sure
I don't know.
on the
I,
OG days, probably the first season at least when I did the SoundCloud thing.
maybe the first season, but then it never made its way to me, or just our fantasy football rivalry
I
kept me
quit.
from being on the pod.
I quit midway. I quit the podcast like mid-season last time, but it's all right. We're going the full season.
Can we give the league like your injury reserve situation? Like you have to move yourself to your IR spot. What's going on with the
No,
pinky?
no, I am playing, man. I am playing. Yesterday I was playing softball and I was catching a fly ball. Some dude had a rope. And I was playing left field and I'm left-handed. This is my left hand. And I went to catch it with my right and secure it with my left, and the softball just went right into my pinky.
Yeah.
Right into my pinky. I caught the ball to end the inning, which was great, but it went right into my pinky and I dislocated my pinky. So
Yeah,
then
I mean, like the
the doctor had
non-contact hand-eye coordination sports, like those are the hardest ones. So I know what you're talking about.
terrible.
I feel bad for you.
Terrible. I had to take the doctor had to take my pinky and just yank it back into place. It felt so weird.
Oh, you pulled like the Kobe, like your uh your hand doctor just
Yeah.
jammed it back in.
Look how purple it is. It looks like I have a pen stain on it. But whatever. We're here.
Fighting
Still
through it.
playing. How's how's your newborn? How you have two kids now, man? It's kind of
Yeah,
nuts.
he's chilling.
How's little King Julian?
Yeah, he's doing
Beast.
well. So far I've had my best actually the year Josephine was born was actually my worst fantasy football season performance. I came in last place. Ran a 5K in clogs. But ever since then, I've been
On
on
the
the
up
up
and
and up. Yeah, I would like to look at my team's uh not ratings, what's it called, record the last like 2 years or two seasons, including my start so far this year. So yeah, like no strategy is the best strategy so far. Um
Being a dad is the best strategy, so pop those things out.
yeah, there you go.
Um, that's good. Congratulations on having another one, making the
Thank
family
you.
grow bigger. So let's jump into football. We have a pretty busy schedule with not a lot of time. I wanted to get right into your draft strategy. I figured I'd give everybody the floor to kind of talk about how they decided to draft that night.
Yeah, so I completely forgot to like go back and reference some things from draft night, but the one thing I do remember was like I want to say an hour or two before, a cool texted me and was like, "Hey, do you want to?" At first, I thought he was asking to like switch spots in the order, meaning I think he had four and I had seven. And at first, he was like, "Do you want to trade draft picks?" And then through further conversation, I think he was literally trying to trade like just
Position.
like the first or second round something, and it didn't make any sense, like the way the snake draft works with like you going to the back of one round but being at the front of the other. I don't know, the picks that he was asking for like completely did not make sense. I wasn't getting
Joker.
anything in return. I was literally moving backwards in each round, and he was just like it didn't make any sense. But he was I don't think he liked some of the guys that were at the top of the board, but I did say to him, I was like, hey, like if you like, I would be interested in taking the fourth spot because I I really did want Jahmyr Gibbs, and I didn't think he would be there at seven, but like I think he's been phenomenal so far this year, and I just think he's probably going to finish the season as a top five running back. Like I don't think that's a ridiculous statement. So I know I'm not making any bold predictions with that one. Barring injury, I think he's a top three, top five rest of season running back, but I was fine with just staying at seven. My strategy last year worked out well. Like I genuinely think I had like the best or second best team last year. Like I just didn't the playoffs, it's obviously one and done. So like
Yeah.
I just think my team didn't score, 140 or whatever to move me to the next round. But if you go back and look at the points for last year, I'm pretty sure I was top or second most. And I started with Bijan last year in the first round. And then second round, I took a wide receiver. I forget who, but like I really liked getting like that solidified running back and Saquon being there. Like my picks were between Saquon, Neighbors, Puka, Nico, and Genty, and I guess Amon Ra. I would say that was like really where the cutoff was. Maybe Derrick Henry, but I just felt like safest with Saquon, like coming off of his season last year, a guy that people say is injury prone, like had a phenomenal like injury free season last year with still getting a ton of carries and a ton of work. Like he didn't have like a split running back in Philadelphia. Plus, I just think that the Eagles brought back a lot of the same pieces from the Super Bowl team, and I didn't see a drop off in him. So far so good with that. Um, I won't go into like each one of my picks.
Not to
Sorry,
cut
do you have
you
a
off
question?
there, but I
Yeah.
don't think Saquon is injury prone. I just think he was played out a very bad field with a very bad O line for a very long time.
Right. And I think that like I mean I said this in the group chat, like when are they going to fix that field? Because
Yeah.
it's not I agree. I don't think that he's injury prone. I just think that field just people suffer injuries on it at a
Yeah.
higher rate than other fields or grass types or whatever. Um the only other person I was considering at that pick was like Puka and Genti, to be honest, and I'm glad I didn't take Genti. I think he's going to work out fine for Rich, but uh, I just don't really know like the history of like rookie running backs doing like exceptionally well from a fantasy perspective their
Yeah.
rookie year. Um, so I'm happy with my first round pick. Like I don't think I whiffed or like I'm not giving myself an A plus there, but like I'm definitely not like second guessing taking Saquon. Um, Second round, Drake London. That one to me was just like me taking a chance on a breakout candidate. Like Drake London's what, like third or fourth year in the NFL, hasn't really had that breakout leap like Amon Ra had, a year ago or 2 years ago, where I don't know his breakout year. I'm pretty sure he got drafted in like the fifth or sixth round of fantasy and finished as like a top
Yeah.
five wide receiver. Um, I guess like the thing with Drake London was like he was going from Kirk Cousins to Penix. I don't consider that like a huge upgrade, but I just consider them to be like throwing the ball more with the guy they spent whatever the first round draft pick on. Um, but yeah, I wasn't really interested in like the other guys that went after him that I could have taken: Bucky Irving, Brian Thomas, Brock Bowers. I was
Yeah,
not taking.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at that right now, and nobody until Devontae Adams is was worth taking anyway.
Yes. Yeah. So that was an easy one for me. Third round, this is where my strategy sort of like that 60-second timer shot clock feels like 10 seconds, and you're kind of just like when you have two or three guys queued up and then you're kind of just like, okay, shit, like I gotta think of something fast. My plan was Lamar or Josh Allen, whoever's there, take that quarterback. I had Lamar last year, and that's why my team was one of the highest scoring teams. Like he just absolutely balled out. I think getting Henry like helped free him up a little bit, and then Zay Flowers is playing phenomenally well. They got like so many freaking tight ends over there between
Yeah.
Andrews coming back now, and I don't even know if Isaiah Likely's playing, but like
No,
he was
he's
good
I think
last
he's gonna
year.
be back soon, but he was injured.
But Zay Flowers, Bateman, like they just have weapons. And honestly, Lamar is the type of player where you get him on your team because he has the ability to break a 50-yard touchdown run, and that's 11 points. So he can do that, and he did it for me last year. So I was like, if I could get him or Josh Allen, that would be great. I knew I didn't want to leave the third round without a quarterback just because in my head, like there's always the guys that aren't like standout fantasy football names, but like I'll give an example one. Like Baker Mayfield is not someone that people would draft in the fifth or sixth round like of fantasy football. However, when you look at the season after the fact, you're like, wow, that quarterback finished the season where like the fifth QB off the board or the sixth QB off the board went. But like when you're drafting, they don't actually go at that area. So like if I didn't leave with a quarterback in the third round, it was going to be wait for, I don't know, like I had Jared Goff last year, who I think finished as a top 10 QB. But like Baker Mayfield was probably like the one that stood out to me the most because of all the weapons he has there, and they just literally chuck the ball. And they even have running backs that they throw the ball to. It's not even like they're
Yeah.
just ground and pound, hand the ball off running backs. Like they are receiving running backs that can make moves in open space. So that was my backup plan. But obviously I landed with Hurts. And the reason I did that was in the moment, like I wasn't feeling T. Higgins, all the contract stuff the last year. Terry McLaurin was injured going into week one. Jaden Daniels, I did like. JSN I had last year and I loved him. So like those were the guys that five guys that went after. But Hurts, I was like, all right, this is a huge gamble, but realistically, I'm getting 2 touchdowns a week out of
Yeah, I mean
Saquon
that's
and
a really
Jalen
good
Hurts.
stack. I said, well, yeah, I said when you drafted that, that was a really good stack.
So that was the thought process behind that. Um, I don't want to go into the rest of my draft. I'll say like my biggest draft win so far is Javonte Williams in the eighth round.
Yeah,
I think that's been
100%.
amazing. Also, like Tyler Warren in the seventh has been huge as well, just based off of like where he is tight end wise. And I'm honestly surprised that like ESPN, like the way they do their ADP and then how it sort of like feeds you players that like should be queued up or drafted next. Like I was surprised that when I took him in the seventh round, I'm pretty sure his ADP was like ninth or tenth round, and I was just like, we're in a league with a bunch of smart people. Like they don't mind reaching on stuff. I mean, people reach on defenses and kickers like 2 or 3 rounds early. I don't know what tight end I would take if I didn't take Tyler Warren there, so I took him, and he's been like everything as advertised coming out of Penn State. My biggest draft mistake, where this is like my biggest hole in my team right now, I would say is wide receiver. But I took the gamble on Calvin Ridley like having a good year and Cam Ward like leaning on him. Cam Ward being rookie quarterback who can throw the ball. I was just like, dude, I can get the number one wide receiver on a team with a rookie quarterback. And like
Yeah,
how often are rookie quarterbacks like leaning on that like
on
veteran,
star
yeah,
wide
that one
receivers.
guy. So that's been my biggest struggle so far because the guys that went after are Waddle and Zay Flowers and Devontae Smith. I knew I wanted a wide receiver there, and the fact that I could have taken Zay Flowers and he's currently the wide receiver 16. I think a couple weeks ago he's like wide receiver 5. Um, I would say that was my biggest like F on my draft night. But other than
And
that, like I liked my team I drafted.
looking at this makes me sick.
Also, like the kicker I got, Spencer Schrader. We were on the FaceTime.
He's
I was
kicker
saying to you
one.
guys, yeah, I was saying to you guys, I was like, who's this Spencer Schrader guy? And so I forget who it was, but they were like, oh, that's the dude that made like the 70-yard field goal in preseason or something. I was like,
Cam
yeah,
Little made the 70-yard field goal in
oh,
preseason.
it wasn't even Spencer Schrader.
It was Cam Little from
All right, well,
Jacksonville.
I just got lucky then. So yeah, um, I don't know why I drafted him, but he's been amazing. He's just been banging field goals.
Dude.
So happy with him.
I'm getting sick. I here's something to let people to make people laugh. My 11th, so I was the end of the odd, beginning of the evens. My end of the 11th round pick was Joe Mixon. My beginning of the 12th was Najee Harris. Jesus.
Oh, I did have Mixon circled as like a guy I wanted. I was probably going to take him in the 12th round just because I knew he was out like the first 4 weeks.
Brutal.
Also, Chubb was a guy that I was like, oh, I can get basically an RB1 for the first 4 weeks of the season. And I mean, I missed on him on draft night, but thankfully, like he hasn't done anything. Um,
I took somebody old running backs. I don't know what I was thinking.
I think that's like, so I love, I mean, I guess as like we play more and more years of fantasy, like what is this, our seventh or eighth year?
This is
My
year nine.
my strategy in the past that has like really hurt me has been like listening to so many like fantasy football podcasts or like reading Twitter threads on like breakout players this year or sleepers or whatever you want to like buzzword call it, flavor soup of the day. I all the years that like where I finished either in last place or like very close to last, I was consuming so much of that content that it was
Yeah.
like breakout player content that they were all just like these hopeful like players that break out. And then when only one of them did, I'm like, I have this whole team of basically
Bum.
potential breakout players and no established players.
Yeah.
Like no wonder my team was shit. Like um just stuff like that where now my strategy is like as I'm drafting, I'm like, is this player good at football? Is this player on a team that is good at football? Is this player like the Mike Evans thing is the most beautiful thing in fantasy football where I think our league has finally started to respect it because we're sick and tired of seeing him drafted in the seventh or eighth round. And we're like, no, we know this dude is going to finish as a wide receiver
Yeah.
24 or higher. And he's going to have weeks where he scores 40 points from like 10 receptions, 100 yards, and two touchdowns, whatever that adds up to. But like, we are getting smarter as a league where those draft picks are like going ahead of ADP because we literally just know that the Mike Evans of the world are actually better. And
Yeah.
like in real world scenarios, like, yes, he's going to miss a couple games due to hamstrings and stuff like that. But that's been my strategy. That's why I was like, okay, DK Metcalf, like, I think I may have even taken him higher than his ADP in ESPN, but I know he is a good wide receiver. Like
I
I've
love
seen him
DK
play good with
Metcalf. I think he's a
freaking
monster.
I've seen him play good with what's the dude from Missouri? Drew Lock. Like I've seen him
Yeah.
play well with bad quarterbacks. So you're telling me Aaron Rodgers, yes, tail end of career, stuff like that. But like who is DK Metcalf's competition in Pittsburgh? Like
Nobody.
nobody.
Calvin Austin the
Um,
third.
yeah, so that was my thought process. I was like, okay, fourth round, yeah, I'll take a chance on that. So that's been my thought process more last year, which I think obviously worked out well. I didn't win any money or anything, but I definitely think I had a top two team. And then same thing with this year was just, are these people good at football and do they have a history of showing they can like score touchdowns and perform?
Yeah. All right, let's make a quick shift to Um, let's make a quick shift to the power rankings. So I'm gonna rattle off them in threes, and and then I'm gonna ask you a question about them. So the bottom three for week four are Chris Cataldo at 12, Ante at 11, and Josh at 10. Out of those three guys, who is the most in trouble?
I mean, I think it's obviously Cataldo. Like in order to get out of this situation that he's in,
He made two trades today, so
no, I know, but I'm saying like
his team
he
looks much better now than it did this morning, definitely.
right. But the flip side of that is that I mean, this is football. These guys get injured all the time. So like he's still just one injury away from being even more screwed, even with the move he made to get ETN. Like, yeah, he gave up his first round pick in Nico Collins. He's thankfully deep at wide receiver with Pickens, Pittman, and Diggs. Like I do like that.
And Keenan Allen.
And Keenan Allen, yeah. So I like that move, but like, dude, he's still in the same situation where if ETN gets injured, he doesn't even have the handcuff for that. So like that I mean, it's stupid, but like fantasy football is so much dependent on injury luck. And I just think at the end of the whatever 13, 14 regular season games of fantasy football season before our playoffs start, like you usually see the teams that are doing the best are the teams that just luckily avoided injury or they had the handcuff for the injured player on their team or they had the
Yeah.
handcuff for the guy that got injured on someone else's team. So I just think that I think he's in a tough situation. Like in my opinion, rostering Sean Tucker, like that's the third string running back on Tampa Bay behind Bucky and Rashad. Like
Yeah.
Sean Tucker, you literally need two guys to get injured. Why are you even wasting a roster spot on that guy? I don't even know who this Brashard Smith is on Kansas City Chiefs running back. Like, dude,
He was
he's
actually
like
getting some touches
I think he's
on
just like
Sunday or something
adding
like that.
random guys. Kendre Miller, I think that's a great handcuff. Like, I think I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but Alvin Kamara has probably had at least a 2 or 3 game stretch each year where he's been injured. That's great. He now has a running back to fill in for those weeks. So I just think he's going to have to, the stars are going to have to align for him to get lucky with injuries falling his way and some of the guys that he has being able to get a few weeks of RB1 productivity out of them. But Chase Brown has not been a good, I think that was his first round pick or second round pick. It's not been a good pick for him. So
Looking at his roster from week one from draft night, Chase Brown lost Joe Burrow, James Conner done for the year, Nico Collins was traded, George Kittle on IR, Juwan Jennings hurt on and off, Austin Eckler done for the year.
see, so like
And it's week five hasn't even started yet.
going back to my draft strategy that I was talking about, like guys that have a history of showing they can perform. Like
Jaden Daniels missing 2 weeks. Sorry.
I
Yeah.
I don't know how again, like there's obviously certain point at which you draft somebody, but I think a fifth round pick on George Kittle with his injury history, and honestly, just not even like he does have amazing weeks where he balls out and he'll be the tight end one for some weeks. But I just don't know how you can spend a fifth round pick on him. And that was why like my strategy was like, okay, Tyler Warren in the seventh round feels warranted to me. Like I just don't know how like there's too many guys in the
Kittle actually
NFL,
fell. Kittle fell. I think his ADP was like 40.
but it doesn't even matter though. Like when he's out, dude, he is out. Like he
Yeah.
will do the 4 week stint on the IR. Like he will screw you over. And the tight end free agency market is like slim. Like you're not getting good guys. You'll get lucky. Like Scantlebury is the one that comes to mind where he literally turns water into wine with Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith. These guys that he just finds, and they're usually Patriots players or whatever, or AFC East guys, and he just finds them and he slots them in immediately and spends $1 a fab on them and they get him
You
15
mean
points or
or
whatever.
$30 of fab on Darren Waller.
Well, who knows? I'm sure he'll turn Darren Waller into tight end five for the rest of the season. So, but like that's the stuff. Like Scantlebury historically has found like the dude, Jonnu Smith was his guy last year. The year before was Hunter Henry. He literally, these are guys that sit on the waiver wire for a couple weeks and then he picks them up and they're a top five tight end for the rest of the year. So that's why I just can't justify a fifth round pick on George Kittle. But yeah, Cataldo is definitely the most in trouble, and that's why he's at 12th. I genuinely believe he will come in last place. I haven't even looked at like the way his bye weeks and stuff line up, but I'm sure there's some week where like he has overlap that he's gonna have to fill in guys.
Well, he avoided Nico's bye next week, so
Well,
um that
I
helped,
mean
I
his
guess.
week 10 he has Chase Brown and George Pickens on bye, so like I guess Sean Tucker, the guy he just picked up, is getting the start week 10. So
So we have nine, eight, seven. Nine is Mark. Oh no, yeah, nine is Marco. Eight is Chris S. and seven Joe. Out of those three, who has the most potential to make a playoff push?
Um, I do like all of the teams, but if I did have to pick one, it's not even just recency bias, but I would have to say Joe. Like Joe could very easily be 2-2 right now, and I could very easily be 2-2. Like I have been on the shit end of those weeks too many times. Like I would say it's not even been like, hey, like this is just variance, it'll balance itself out. Like I will genuinely say, if you went back and looked at the last 5 years of fantasy, those weeks that my team scored like let's just say you're the top three scorer for the week or top four scorer and you beat seven or eight other teams, like you should get a win those weeks. And if you don't, you're just unlucky that you happen to be matched up randomly against the number two team while you scored the third most points. And you're just like, well, this sucks. Like
You hear that,
Ante,
Kamish?
Ante's 11th highest score and he plays the 12th highest score that week and he wins 95 to 75 and you're just like he doesn't deserve a win.
Boy, you gotta get that voodoo. You
Yeah,
gotta get that voodoo.
he has some serious voodoo magic going on. But that's basically what happened to Joe. And I'm very blessed and thankful that I dodged the bullet with him this week because if I had scored 150, I finished with 158 points last week. But if I had scored 140 or higher and he scored 145, like I would have been absolutely
Yeah,
fuming.
pissed.
And it's just tough because you don't get those, you don't those don't show up. It doesn't matter. It just helps you in points for at the end of the season. But
Yeah.
you need wins. Like our regular season is so short that that's why you'll take the weeks where you if you somehow win like 105 to 95 some week you're like I didn't deserve this but I will gladly take it.
Yeah, it's just not, that's how it balances out again, unless you're
Yeah.
Ante. The funny thing about Ante and his luck is nobody else in the world besides the 12 of us really know really know like how lucky he is. I mean, I mean, just look at the matchup. He's playing Zach, and Zach's entire team is on
Oh
bye.
yeah.
Like
I sent that in the group
only
chat.
the schedule would favor would that would only happen to him. And again, like I know he gets annoyed when we say that and stuff like that, but like nobody else in the world besides the 11 of us really can really can put into words how lucky
And like he hates when we talk about it because of how truthful it is and
how
each
truthful
year
he
it
is. Yeah.
gets more and more truthful. It's like it started as a joke at first but then like it has just developed into this like actual
Yeah.
truth where like it's just and honestly, like to prove a point, like when I was just scrolling through looking at stuff like coming into this and I sent the chat where like I just looked at Zach's team and I was like, wait, I think I went to Scoreboard or something to see like what the matchups were this week.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is Zach projected like 70 points? I'm like, wait, he's playing Ante? And I looked at his team and it just is like Scantleberry, whatever he says, like it's an NSYNC album or something like that, like
Yeah.
bye 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 and all that stuff. And like that's just Ante's shtick. And he'll always be like, dude, Josh hit the randomize button. Like it's not my fault all the time. It's just like, no, dude, like the fate of the universe like somehow has you coddled in its freaking arms
Yeah, it's
and like you're just
weird.
sucking on the tit of luck.
He sold
Like,
his soul to the fantasy devil long,
yeah.
long ago.
But Joe's team, I have seventh, and I think they're the best of that group of three that you said. He's got Rashee Rice coming back. He's got Demo, David Montgomery, who I didn't know that dude. That dude's hilarious. Like I've watched some of his like clips on Amon
Monty's the
Ross St.
man.
Brow's podcast and like just some interviews. Demo's hilarious. What Brian Thomas hasn't even been playing well. He's wide receiver 43, but he'll probably turn it around. He's got Hunter Henry tight end 2 for the year. Quentin Johnson he added from free agency. That's wide receiver 4, and James Cook's just a bell cow in Buffalo. As long as he stays healthy, Joe will be fine with him. I don't really like Bo Nix. I think there's going to be weeks where, as we get closer to like the winter
Got
time,
Caleb Williams on by. Caleb Williams has been really, really great
okay,
for
I missed
fantasy
that.
this
Yeah,
season.
you're right. Okay, so he's got Caleb Williams, but all right, that's he's fine.
Yeah, I think it sucks that he's 1-3, but I definitely think this is a playoff team. I think
Yep. I mean,
he's got
Jefferson,
he's got three
wide
great
receiver
running
15.
back. Yeah, he's got three great running backs. He's got three great wide receivers, not including Brian Thomas. Like once he'll have Jetta, QJ, and Rasheed as his wide receivers with DJ Moore and Brian
Yeah,
Thomas on the bench. Like yeah, he and Caleb Williams, he'll be fine. I think this is a scary team going into the playoffs. He just has to get there.
I agree. I
Um,
think it's really weird seeing his team only score 103 and 86 the first 2 weeks, though. But
yeah.
also, his opponent scored 126 and 126, I believe. Those like 126 and 123. So like he may not have even won those weeks. My cutoff is always like the 110 number. Like if I score over that, I feel like I should win. If I score under that, I feel
Oh
like I should
wow.
lose.
He got hit with a 126, a 123, and a 145. Wow,
Yeah,
he's getting beat up.
he's had a
And now he's
he's
got
had the
Keenan.
he's had
And
the
then he's got
anti
Vinko
ante.
afterwards.
He's had the
Oh,
reverse ante luck so far this year.
wow, he's got Keenan and Vinko back to back. That's brutal. Tough,
Yeah.
tough schedule. Let's see. 6-5-4. Six is Zach, five Rich, four are cool. Um, which one of these teams is trending in the right direction? Which one of these teams might be trending in the wrong direction?
Zach is trending in the wrong direction. He's probably going to take the L this week, not only because he has all the buys, but just because he's playing Ante, which means he's automatically scoring 50 points under projection.
So they'll score 40 this week.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, he's got he's got some dogs on his team. Like I love Bijan, and he's got the handcuff for that. So good job, Zach, with having Algier. Bijan's usually pretty healthy. Like I don't think I even had Algier on my team at all last year. Like Bijan didn't miss any games, but you're set in case he does miss any games. Um, I love Josh Allen. He's going to be a 30-point hog for him every week, pretty much. But I just think his team losing Tyreek, like I just don't love Zach's wide receivers. I think he's deep. Like I'm looking at a ton of running backs and tight ends, but I don't know. Jerry Judy, wide receiver 55, Jordan Addison, 93 miles per hour. I mean, sorry, 93 ranked wide receiver, and Tatoria McMillan. I don't know, Zach. I think you need to make a move for a wide receiver. Um, so Zach would be the one. That's why I have him six. A
Yeah, I
cool and
think
rich.
losing Tyreek is just so shitty because his
Yeah.
team was really good, but go on.
A cool and rich for me was like a little bit of a coin toss. Like I do really like Rich's team. Um,
I would love for Rich to give me a running back. Just throwing it out there just making the world know, making it obvious to everybody else. I have been begging Rich to give me a running back, and he just won't. So please
let
give me
me
a running back, Rich.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I'm on like my super slow laptop trying to look all this up, but like I do remember Rich's team having like I was looking at it before this and like Genty's on his bench. He's got amazing guys. Devontae Smith on his bench, Amari and Hampton on his bench. Like his team is really good. His team is loaded. Even Woody Marks, like I've been seeing a lot of talk of him emerging out of that backfield, even with Mixon coming back and with Chubb being there.
Mixon's not coming
Um,
back. I just dropped him. He ain't coming back.
yeah,
He
he
might
is. He
miss
was
the
on the
whole
IR
season.
for 4 weeks,
He
wasn't he?
might no, he might miss the whole year, Mixon. I had to
Oh,
drop
geez.
him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this could show you like I'm out of tune with
Go ahead, Rich. Pick him up.
yeah, Rich, get the handcuff. Or no, Cataldo, go add him. Add another running back
Pick him
to
up.
your stash. But yeah, I really like Rich's team, but I'm going to give the nod to a cool. And the reason I'll say that is just as I'm loading his team again here, so give me a second. I love the Gibbs pick. That was the guy I was going to take if he somehow fell to me. But he's figuring out the quarterback situation with Lamar being on, I guess, doubtful just this week, not IR. But like, I think Goff is extremely serviceable and manageable for the time being. Dobbins has been playing well, running back 14. As long as he stays healthy, like he will be fine. Um, him getting Garrett Wilson, I think in like the third or fourth round, I want to say that was a great pick by
I'm in
him.
the fifth.
And then
Fourth,
Emeka
sorry.
Egbuka, I think that's how you say his name. But I think a lot of us probably had him. That's the dude from Ohio State. Like I think he's gonna do great. Like the Buccaneers, like I was saying about Baker earlier, they just throw the ball so much. Baker literally throws the ball 45 to 50 times a game and 400 yards. So that'll get split up. His biggest question mark for me right now is like between his flex and tight end. I think Brock Bowers is amazing, but I think he's been pretty banged up and injured. Um, but I'll give the coin flip to a cool just because he's got guys that if all on the same week can like there's a week that he'll have Lamar back in this starting lineup and like you
He could
may
put up
see
185 with this
yeah,
with
you
this
could see
team.
a Lamar 35, a Gibbs 35, a Garrett Wilson 35, and a Buka 35, and a Brock Bowers like 20. And you're just like, if you're playing him that week, it's just that's just what happens. So I'll give a cool the four spot out of that 4, 5, 6 group.
Yeah, I really like Cool's team. I think a Cool's team is pretty stacked considering that he went tight end in the second round
Hmm.
and quarterback in the third, which is really
Yeah.
hard to do to have a really good team. It would be very like top heavy, but he did a really good job recovering. He went running back, tight end, uh, quarterback. So he didn't even take a wide receiver in a PPR league until round four, and he still has wide receiver five, wide receiver eight.
Well,
So that's
that's the
pretty damn
crazy
good.
thing about this. I sometimes like I was telling you earlier, like I went back and was saying, hey, like I don't like my Calvin Ridley pick. I would have rather had Zay Flowers. And sometimes I'll do that. Like I'll be like, okay, who was available and who could I have taken to to have done better in that
The worst
situation?
thing you
Like
could ever do.
him
It's
him him having Brock Bowers in the second round, and for example, he was ahead of me in round 7 when I took Tyler Warren after him. He took Ricky Purcell in round 7. If he had taken Tyler Warren in round 7 instead of Brock Bowers in round 2, he could have had AJ Brown, yes, Tyreek Hill, who just got hurt, Lad McConkey, Devontae Adams, James Cook. Like he took Lamar Jackson, but like, do you know what I'm saying? Like there's
I
a
would have
different
preferred
outcome that his
Devontae
team.
Adams or James Cook, but the rest of them I would have taken Brock Bowers instead of the rest of those guys.
Okay, but like instead of what if his wide receivers were Garrett Wilson, Emeka Egbuka, and AJ Brown, and instead of Pacheco in the flex, he had AJ Brown, and instead of Brock Bowers at tight end, he had Warren. Like this
Yeah.
team would be insane. So
These
obviously
are
that's just
insane.
hindsight.
But no,
I
yeah, it is
I know,
hindsight.
but AJ Brown does that every year, and that's just
Yeah.
why I didn't draft him because I don't like the inconsistency of it. But like he will turn it around and he'll be fine.
So we have about five and a half left. So
Okay.
we're gonna have five and a half left. The top three are you, Vinco, and Keenan.
Yeah,
You
we
want to
can
give me a
squeeze this in. I'm not going to do myself just because I already did my draft recap. And like one thing that I'll take away from last year's success is that I don't. I don't want to make moves until I have to make moves. And I actually think like that it's really interesting. Like the higher our buy-in has got, I think like a lot of people have been less likely to make moves. They've just been going like the free agency
Yeah, it
or
sucks.
waiver wire route. No, it
Me and
doesn't
Scannabro
because
are the
like,
only two that want to trade. It
but there's more
sucks.
on the line. So like you're actually being more calculated and risk taking, and you also don't want to come in last place. But like my thing is like I drafted these guys because I do believe for the full season they will perform to a certain expectation. So like why am I getting rid of them or trying to like why would I try to trade Jamison Williams, wide receiver 42, after 4 weeks? Like he's already done for 1 week exactly what I know he can do, 18 points. Like he got me 18.8 points, Marco, on two catches.
Yeah,
Two
I know.
catches, 108 yards and a touchdown. Like, I'm sorry, but if there's a week where he gets like 8 catches, I don't know. Is that a 35-point week from him and he's just sitting in my flex? So I'm going to skip over my team, but I did have my team three. I had Venko's team two, just because I think his team's doing really well. I actually said to you earlier before we got on this, I was like, wait, McCaffrey's RB1? I think that's like the quietest RB1 year from him so far, and I think he just landed the handcuff. So good job there, Vinko. Also, anytime you have AJ Brown on your bench, like I think you're doing fine. Cam Scatabo as his flex, I think looks great. But my top spot goes to Keenan. Shocker there. I just think his team has been a wagon so far.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he's set up well. I love that he has Goddard and Laporta. Like that was another thing I did. I got Zach Ertz after like week one of waivers, where how many times for how many years for the last 3 or 4 years does Zach Ertz sit on waivers and then someone after
And
3 or 4 weeks of
scores
doing well
tutties.
picks him up?
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna get him. Okay, did I draft him? No, but I'm not gonna just let him sit there for someone else to take him. I think I literally added him for free. I don't even think I spent any
You
fab on him.
did. You added him
I
for free.
Yeah, so like that's a guy that historically has shown, hey, Jaden Daniels likes him and he gets targets. Dallas Goddard and Sam Laporta, that's great. Keenan doesn't ever have to trade for a tight end, and he can just play whichever one is like trending and playing well. Um, I mean, Puka is a freak. That's been a phenomenal pick for him. Health is the only concern there, but when you can get the wide receiver one in fantasy football and their target competition is Devonte Adams, like you have an absolute stud on your hands.
Yeah.
I love the Zay Flowers pick. Like I said, that's my one regret from draft night, taking Calvin Ridley over Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers will maybe struggle. Like I think Keenan is expecting him to do well with Lamar out, but I don't see that. Like I think a lot of Zay Flowers' ability is like when Lamar starts to move around outside of the pocket, like and he just launches it downfield, and Zay Flowers is just wide open because it's
Yeah.
just backyard football at that point. But Baker Mayfield at quarterback, I love that, and Jonathan Taylor has been amazing. And I think Jonathan Taylor is benefiting a lot from Danny Dimes actually playing well.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. I
all right,
think
what do we have
Keenan's
left on the
team,
agenda?
we have 2 minutes left. I just want to say I think Keenan's team is the best starting lineup today, but I think Vinko's team is the deepest and is the strongest besides Joe's for a really strong playoff push.
Yes, and
Um,
injuries, none of us can predict them, but if you have a deep team, Vinko's team is very deep.
yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. I mean, look at his team. Like the guy, like when you just look at the position rank so far, and I know it's only four
Well,
weeks.
he drafted QB 3, running back 1, tight end 1, defense 1.
Yeah, he's
So
doing
he did
well.
a good job. We have a minute. We have about a minute and a half left. We're gonna rapid fire this. So we're
Go.
gonna do the matchups. Me versus Chris
Oh, geez.
Cataldo.
You versus Chris, you.
Okay, great. Finally, someone's picking me on the pod. Scantleberry against a cool.
Cool.
Ante versus Zach.
Oh, geez. Ante,
Rich versus Vinco.
Venko.
Grant versus Josh. Wow, that's a good one.
I'm gonna take myself, even though I don't like that. I have Drake London and DK on a bye, but I'll take myself.
Joe versus Keenan.
I'm gonna go with Joe. I think his team's trending in the right direction.
Okay, great. Your Sunday night anytime touchdown scorer guy.
Travion Henderson. Um, I think he got the goal line work last week. He did score a touchdown last week, and the Bills are 26. It's a small sample size, but in the NFL so far, ranked 26 in rushing touchdowns allowed. So we'll go with We'll go with Travion
Trayvon
Henderson.
Henderson, there you go, your man scans. And final thing, Zach eliminated the punishment that Zach eliminated was Cataldo's dog crate thing. So we're not doing that anymore. I don't know how much time we have left, Grant. Thanks so much for joining. Really
Yes, sir.
appreciate the time. You're the man. Hold on, yeah, you're the man. Really appreciate the time. Definitely looking forward to potential.